What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Blueprint, where the goal is to be whole. I'm your host, Charles Irving, and today is day 14 of 40 days of fasting. Today, I want to talk to you about diminishing your desires. As I went through today, just recognizing some of the things that I struggle with in terms of my desires and thinking about one, just how distracting certain desires can be. It's not that all my desires have been diminished. It's that there are desires that you have that distract you from your goals, dreams, and aspirations. And in order to get to where you're trying to go, you're going to have to decrease those desires so that you can put your energy into the things that you need to do to get where you're trying to go. So today I want to talk about distractions. I want to talk about desires that distract, benefits of diminishing your desires, and ways to diminish your desires. So, distraction is a noun, a thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. A thing that prevents someone from giving full attention to something else. Underneath that, a diversion or recreation. That's interesting. Extreme agitation of the mind or emotions. So when you're distracted, you are giving your attention or something that's taking you from your full attention to something else, and something that causes agitation, extreme agitation of the mind and emotions. Let me see the word distract. I love to go to the root of words. Distract is a verb. Prevent someone from giving full attention to something, divert attention from something, perplexed or bewilderment. And I believe the word perplexed, of something complicated or unaccountable, cause someone to feel completely baffled. Complicate or confuse. That's powerful. So we're going to go back to distract. This is what's interesting about this word. So distract, distract. The word dis is a Latin word, and it means apart. The word track, right, is in Latin is trahere. It's to draw or drag. In other words, distract is to draw or drag you away from something. It's to pull you apart and from something. It is to pull in different directions. And what's powerful is that there is the way this, from what I've learned, the way this word comes about is they used to put ropes on people. And what they would do is, back in those days when they're trying to torture you, they would tie your arms and your legs to 4 different horses and have those horses run in opposite directions. That's what it means to pull you apart. So when you think about distractions, think about yourself being pulled apart from what you're doing. Like you are committed and connected to this thing, and you are being pulled apart as something else has gotten your attention. This is also the definition of what it means to be double-minded. When I realized that, I was like, whoa, it is having 2 opposing ideas at the same time. You're trying to chase 2 rabbits, and they're going in opposite directions. You can't do anything when you're distracted. And just, fasting is this idea of, how can I diminish my desires? How can I refrain from doing that which I shouldn't do when I want to do it? How can I commit to something wholeheartedly, and even when everything is in my soul is telling me to do this thing, I can still say no? Because the truth of the matter is that there is going to come a time where you can't get out of the situation. You can't get what you want. And you got to be able to endure. You got to be able to endure the situation as is. And if you're not trained to do that, you will succumb to the pain that you feel internally that cause you to sabotage whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish simply because you can't handle the pain. So one of the things that we need to understand is distraction. What's really happening? What does it really mean? The second thing is desires that distract. So I want to share with you some of the things that distract me. And I want you to think about, what are some of the things that distract you? Three things, in particular, I realized as I was thinking about this, two that were very blatant to me, that were just clear. One was like, oh, yeah, that kind of comes up in a very subtle way. And it does kind of grab my attention. I just don't notice it because it's not screaming as loud as the other ones right now. And the first one is social media. Social media is something that I'm actively working on, not necessarily removing from my life, but reducing its impact by how often I'm on it or using it, unless it's like for business. It's like I use it for personal reasons, remembering birthdays, because now with technology, I can't remember a phone number. I used to be able to remember, phone numbers like that. Now I can't remember nobody's phone number. I can't remember people's birthdays. So it is a way to stay informed. It's not very good at developing connection. Being informed and being connected are not the same thing. But again, what happens with social media is you start to use it to distract yourself from the life that you're living because you don't want to deal with some things. You don't want to deal with the pain. You don't want to deal with the frustration of not living a life that you desire to live. You don't want to deal with the aggravation of whatever's going on in your day. You come from work and you're tired and you don't want to think. You want to do just mindless scrolling. And I get it. I've done it plenty of times. I've done it, several times throughout this fast. Why? Because sometimes things become overwhelming and it becomes a challenge to just get through the day. So you need an escape. You need a way to take your mind away from whatever it is that you're dealing with. And it's good to, do that every so often. But when it comes the go-to thing that you do, that becomes a problem. When you're not feeling a certain thing and it's causing you to not be able to get certain things done, that's when it becomes a problem. So social media has been a challenge for me. The affection and attention of a love interest. Like, this is something that I realize, wow, you're going out and you see beautiful women. Now that I'm divorced, I've been divorced for, it's been a year and what are we, March? It's been a little over a year. And it's like, you see people and you're like, I'm kind of, I want to engage. And it's like, nah, you're not in the space to do that yet. I want to, but I'm not in the space. And not only that, but the reality of it is that the woman that is going to be in my life has to be someone that God sends. And the reason is because I am a very peculiar person with a very peculiar purpose. And therefore, I can't have just anybody in my life. And God has made it very, very clear. He's not going to allow certain people. He's not going to allow anybody in my life. Now, I could succumb to my desires and try to create a situation for myself where, someone's interested and I'm engaging them and so forth and so on. But it is to my advantage to wait and allow the Lord to lead me, guide me, and show me who he has for me. Here's the beautiful thing. Most people don't. They think, well, what about before? Didn't the Lord show you? Yeah, he did. Both of my marriages were ordained by God. But the reality of it is that in order for marriage to succeed, it's not just about whether or not God chose the person that you married. Where we got this idea, I don't know, but it's not the truth. The reality of it is that in order for a relationship to work, you need two people who are going to willfully submit themselves to the Lord and through that submit themselves to each other for it to work. If they don't, if one does not do that, it's not going to work. So this marriage, God is going to send me another one. Why? Because I can't be with just anybody. The calling on my life is too divine for me to be with just anybody. So I still have an interest in being married. I love marriage. I think it's the greatest institution in the world. Marriage is not the problem. It's people who are the problem. And part of my purpose in calling on my life is as a husband and a father. It's just who God. I still desire the attention and affection of a love interest, and that can be distracting. It can be discouraging. It can be disheartening because, I'm in Georgia. I'm by myself. I don't have family around. I don't have anything to distract me from the things that are distracting, which is interesting, right? I don't have family and friends here. I got some people, but they live so far away. It's like, you don't get to see them. Not that I don't want to hang around, certain people, but that are here is just sometimes it's just not advantageous in terms of time. So I still feel alone. I still feel isolated. I still feel secluded. And, regardless of whether it's like, this is your single time. It's like, yeah, but you don't understand my situation and circumstances. Sometimes your single time can be very, very, very difficult. And everybody tries to make it seem like, no, this is the time to, learn yourself. I am learning myself. But the changes that I have to make to prepare myself for whatever God has for me moving forward is painful. It's hard. And part of that is in this fast. So wanting to have a love interest and not being able to act on my desire, wanting to have a love interest and not having God send me anybody at the particular time, wanting to have affection and things of that nature and being deficient in that, that's difficult. So, I find myself sometimes I'll go a certain place and I'm like, who notices me? Who's checking? Do I still got it? You know what I mean? Is there someone who's smiling a little bit harder than normal? You look for those things. It is just something that when you desire relationship, when you desire covenant, when you desire connection, it is what it is. So just having to, deny myself those things and put my attention away from who might be interested, who I'm interested in. Oh, she looked good. Maybe I should probably approach her. And then it's like, yeah, but you don't want to do that. Why? Because you're going to entertain something and open a door to something that you're not ready to deal with. And that could be a situation because you're not ready to deal with it in terms of being in a relationship, but it also means you're not ready to deal with whatever that person has that nobody wants to deal with. So let's not do that. But it's hard. It is very, very difficult. The other one, obviously, is food. I just did my laundry. And one of the things that I realized is that desires develop out of your routine. Like I wasn't thinking about food when I went to go do my laundry, but there is a Jamaican restaurant I go to every time I do my laundry. I go to this Jamaican restaurant and I'll get me a patty and cocoa bread, or I'll get me some of their I don't know what the name of it is, but it's a really good chicken. I'll get some cabbage. I'll probably just get chicken and cabbage because I can't. It's not that I can't. I just don't eat the rice because I'm diabetic. I gotta stop saying I'm diabetic. I am in the process of reversing diabetes. But I go there every weekend. And it became a part of my routine. So when I went in and I'm very systematic when I do certain things. I go and I put my loads of clothes in the washer. I put my basket, I take it back to the car. It's 23 minutes. I put the timer on. When that's done, I'll get a rolling basket, take my clothes, put it in the driver. That's 30 minutes. When that's done, I'll get my basket and a bin. I'll take it over to a table, pull my clothes out. I'll fold my clothes, put them all in a particular order and arrangement to my closet, the way I got my closet set up. So in between the time I go and put my clothes in the wash and the time I go to the dryer, I'll go get me something to eat. And I've been doing that for months. When I went to go do my laundry today, I put my clothes in the dryer and my mind went straight to what I was going to do next. Why? Because it's part of my routine. So now I'm like, shoot, like this desire sprang up and I didn't realize it was because it's a part of my routine. And I'm like, man, I gotta grind it out. I just gotta endure. But I got through it. I got out of the van. My back seats reclined. I went back there and just allowed myself to rest. Watched a couple videos, things of that nature on YouTube, because I was like, well, you're not doing anything. So you've already read your Bible. You've been praying. You've done all the things. You can enjoy some leisure time. And that's, just being mindful of the fact that there is a denial of certain things, but there is some things you need to do with your leisure time. It's called recreation for a reason. It allows you to recreate. And what it's recreating for me was energy. I was doing all the things. It's like, no, you take some time, few 10, 15 minutes, rest, relax, watch some videos, do what you do, read some articles, go on ESPN, and just do the thing. So I did that. And again, my mind was put away from the food and I was able to get through it. Again, this first one's distraction, desires that distract. These are some of the things that have been distracting to me over, this time of fasting. Next, I want to talk about benefits of diminishing your desires. One of the things that I recognize is time. We all complain about not having enough time, but we all get 24 hours in a day. What you do with it is what matters. Whether you're a billionaire or you make $20,000, $30,000 a year, we all get 24 hours in a day. And a lot of it is dealing with distractions. One of the other things that's, and this is kind of I don't know how do I put this? The hardest thing to do is be free. Like, people don't realize how hard it is to be free. That's the best thing that in life is freedom, but the hardest thing to do is to be free. Give me a second, I'll explain. Freedom is your ability to make a choice. And what I mean by that is you need to be able to have two or more options in order to make a choice. And freedom is your ability to choose between this or that. Your ability to choose between doing something and not doing something. And most of us live our lives doing that which we don't want to do. We're not free. And we say, well, I can do what I want. Yeah, but you're not doing what you want. So why? Like, we got to evaluate that. It's easy to do what is expected of us. It's easy to do what someone else wants from us. It's easy to follow the rules. It's easy to say, well, I did what, I was told to do. Why? Because when you live like that, you now have instinctively someone else to blame for why your life isn't where it is. Well, I did what you told me to do. It didn't work. It didn't do this. Now you want to blame someone. Freedom allows you to say, okay, what do I want to do with the time that I've been given? And what do I want to accomplish? Don't get me wrong. The only reason why I know this is because I have to look at myself and accept the fact that for a lot of the time that I'm I'm not necessarily operating in freedom. I am operating in accordance with what I'm told to do, what I'm expected to do. I'm operating in accordance with what these beliefs in the background of my subconscious mind, what I call the heart, telling me to do. It's not what I want to do. But like you, I gotta face the truth. You're not free. And one of the things that, the reason why I say that is because time. You get 24 hours and you get to choose what you do with that time. And I know that people have situations and circumstances that make it more difficult for them to do the thing that they want to do. But for people in this particular country, in America, we have a lot more liberty to do certain things that other people don't have. So I recognize that. And I recognize that some people are in situations and challenges that make it difficult for them to do what they want to do, even in America. And I'm one of them. Debt has been one of those things that has hindered some of the things that I desire to do. But as I think about it even now, it's like, well, maybe, but then again, it's maybe that it's just hindered your desire to do it that way. You may have to be more creative and do something different. But freedom is hard because you don't get to blame nobody. The buck stops with you. There is nobody who is responsible for the life that you are living because you have the freedom and power to choose what you do and what you do with the time that you have. And that's hard. I mean, even as I'm saying it, it's difficult, but it's the truth. Regardless of how hard it is still the truth. And we can either sit with it and allow ourselves to digest that and adjust our lives to it, or we can run from it and distract ourselves. So the benefits of diminishing your desires is it gives you time back, because if you diminish your desires, you're not as distracted. You have more time to put towards the thing that you desire to do in terms of your dreams, goals, and aspirations. That may change your life for the better. You get time, because most people don't recognize, even while you're thinking about the thing that you desire to do that's a distraction from the thing that you should be doing, time is still passing. It's still passing. It does not stop for nobody. Time is not going to stop. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. That's why scrolling on social media is such a powerful thing, because it steals time. That's why debt is such a powerful thing. It's because it steals time. Most people don't think about that. It causes you to be enslaved. Debt enslaves you because you now have to use future earnings to take care of past expenditures. And if you don't have assets set up that are way more than your expenses, you find yourself bankrupt. If you find yourself scrolling your life away, you will find yourself bankrupt. You won't have the kind of time you need to accomplish the goals, dreams, and aspirations that you're trying to accomplish, because you don't have the time. So the distractions being diminished gives you back more time. The other thing is that for me, I realized the benefit of diminishing my desires that are distracting. It forces me to be productive or find more productive things to do. And oftentimes we don't do that because we're distracted by, i.e., things like social media. So forcing me to do or find more productive things to do. The other one is gain a sense of freedom and accomplishment. As I'm choosing to do that which I should do, that I may not want to do at that moment, being disciplined, refraining from doing that which I shouldn't do when I want to do it, in order to put my energy and effort to accomplish something. Or let me be more clear, put my energy and effort into the activities that will lead me to an accomplishment. I gain a sense of freedom and accomplishment. I feel the truth of the fact that I'm free. I'm operating in freedom. Why? Because my emotions, my desires are not controlling me. I'm able to subordinate my feelings, my desires to principles. I'm able to say no to that which is pulling me to distract myself because I don't want to deal with the pain, in order to say yes to that which is not pulling me, but I need to pull towards me through the activities that I do. So you gain a sense of freedom and accomplishment, a sense of internal security and belief in yourself that says I can and I will, because I have a track record of doing that which I say I'm going to do despite what I'm feeling. Again, developing this spirit of perseverance. So again, benefits of diminishing desires: gain time, forcing you to be more productive, and gain a sense of freedom, accomplishment, and just this internal security that allows you to move forward despite what you're feeling. Last but not least, ways to diminish your distracting desires. I was thinking about this earlier as I was driving. It's like, how do you develop self-control? Like, what is the process of that? Now, I know we can just say, you just stop doing something. That's not good training. We're not talking about stopping doing something just for the sake of stopping doing something to prove that you can stop. We're talking about training yourself so that you become fundamentally different and don't operate in accordance with an unhealthy belief system, so that you can redevelop a belief system that is healthy and you can walk in accordance with. That's where your healing and your wholeness, you're operating in integrity with yourself. Now you're healed and you've become whole, because now you're in alignment and in agreement with a healthy sense of yourself. And I realized that you have to break things down into stages. And I was like, okay, well, what's the state? What is the components of self-control? One of the thing is time and frequency. This is the thing that you can use to measure your development in the area of diminishing your desires. So I'll use the example of social media. I was getting on social media every day, and I was scrolling for a certain amount of time. It would be hours that I could go, 4 or 5 hours and not even realize it. I think I'm sitting there for 15, 20 minutes. It's like, you do realize you've been sitting here for 4 hours watching one video after another. I mean, I'm saying that this is like, what? So there's an amount of time that I'm on it, and then there's a frequency with which I'm doing it. I'm doing it every day. So in order to begin to diminish the distraction, it's like, okay, I got to break this down. Instead of just white knuckling my way through and stopping social media, that's not going to bring about the kind of change, or rather transformation, that I want in me. It's not that I don't want to be on social media. It's that I don't want to use social media as a way to distract me from my life. I don't want to steal time from me. I had to look at, okay, first things first. If we're going to train ourselves to not be on this in order to give ourselves time to do other things, one, what else are we going to do to be productive? What are some things that we can do? Think about it. You can read your word, you can pray, you can write, you can work on your program, and that's cool. And giving some space for leisure time. If you want to go on it for leisure time, fine. But the other thing is that you're going to put a clock as to how much time you can be on there. So putting a plan in place to fill that space with something that's more productive, with some leisure time, so that you can, if you choose to go on it, you can. But the way that I realized how I've been able to diminish was, instead of, again, white knuckling and just stopping, I reduced the time. You might be on it every day, but instead of 4 hours, again, use the clock, and let's just do 30 minutes. Let's see if we can, and that might be too much of a stretch from 4 hours to 30 minutes. But it's not that it's because I desire to be on it so much that I'm on it. It's just that I lose track of time. So it may not be a stretch for you to go from 4 hours to 30 minutes because it's not creating a desire to be there. It's just you lose track of time. So instead of when you go on, just put a timer. And let's do that for a week or two. Let's see how we do with that. Once we get in the hang of that and we feel like, oh, it not just feel like it, it's just routine for us, then we can start working on how about we reduce the frequency. So instead of every day for a half hour, let's do every other day for a half hour. Let's work on that for about a good week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe even 3. And then let's go back to the time. Let's reduce it by 5 minutes. Instead of 30 minutes, let's go 25. And let's do that for a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then let's reduce the time from every other day to every 3 days, or every 4 days. Let's say Monday and Friday. And let's see how we do with that. And this is one of the ways in which we can strategically train ourselves to diminish our desire for the thing that is distracting us from our dreams, goals, and aspirations. But this is also the same framework I use in order to train myself to do things. This is the way I train my ex-wife's children, the 2 oldest, how to drive. I broke everything down into stages. Okay, first we're going to do this and you're going to get used to that. Then we're going to do this and you're going to get used to that. Then we're going to do this. It's the same way with the youngest. I taught him how to play basketball. I broke down shooting, right? I taught him how to shoot a basketball, rather. I broke down shooting into stages. First, you're going to do this with your feet. Then you're going to do this with your knees. Then you're going to do this. I broke it down into stages. Teaching him how to do a layup. Run and touch the backboard without the ball in your hand. Just so he can get used to the way his body would move naturally to touch the backboard. I broke it down. So you can take the same framework for yourself, not just in refraining from doing something or diminishing your desires, but also to do that which you should do when you don't want to do it. You got to build up the capacity to do it. And training yourself is how you do that. We tell people, we teach them, but we don't train them. I'm about training. I had to train myself how to drive. I had to train myself to tie my shoes. I had to train myself to get a job. I had to train myself to keep a job. I had to train myself to speak. I had to train myself to coach. Grace of God was always with me, and he would always put me in situations and circumstances, and he would always give me the wisdom I need. But I had to train myself by going through something and doing it stage by stage and breaking it down and then building and going through this process. I had to train myself how to shoot a basketball. All these things that I've done over the years was due to me training myself. I had to train myself how to be a better student. I had to train myself how to write an essay. I had to go through this in college, I had to go back and study it. Like, how do you do an introduction? How do you do this? How do you do that? What makes this all work I had to train myself. And you can do that too. And that's what the blueprint is all about. It's about taking everything that I've learned and give it to you, about training yourself so that you can walk in integrity with yourself, so that you can heal and become whole. That's the goal. The goal is to be whole. So those are the 4 things that I wanted to share with you guys. 1, distraction, being pulled apart from your dreams, goals, and aspirations by things that are distracting you from that. Desires, I'm distracted by, social media, the attention and affection of love interest, food. What are you distracted by? You got some things that you're distracted by. What are those things? Benefits of diminishing your desires: you get your time back, forces you to be more productive, and you gain a sense of freedom, an accomplishment, and a spirit of perseverance. Ways to diminish your distracting desires. Oh, I totally forgot about that. I talked about time and frequency. The other one is what I'm doing now. Fast. If you can diminish your desire to eat food, you can deny yourself anything. Food is the one thing that you need to live. You can deny yourself that for an extended period of time. You can deny yourself a lot of stuff. It's training. Denying yourself food trains you to deny yourself for other things, including your distractions. The other thing in terms of ways to diminish your distractions is to disrupt your routine over time. So look at your routine. I saw in my routine, my desire for food came about because it was a part of my natural routine when I went to go do my laundry. So how do you disrupt that? For me, it's like, what do you do when you go to do your laundry and you put the clothes in? You normally will go do this. What do you have prepared beforehand that you can put your mind on in regards to what you're going to go do now? So now when you go to the laundromat and you put your clothes in, you're now thinking about the thing that you prepared that you were going to do. And the first thing that comes to mind is not food. It's not going to the Jamaican restaurant. It's the thing that you said out to do. So disrupting your routine over time also allows you the ability to diminish your distracting desires. So what desires are distracting you that you need to diminish? How is it affecting you? Is it affecting your productivity? Is it taking your time? What is it affecting? Is it causing you to feel a lack of confidence? What is it affecting? Again, what desires are distracting you that you need to diminish? And here's a quote that I'll leave you with. Diminish desires that distract you, or your desires will diminish you. As always, don't try to change the world. Instead, build you, and your world will transform. Until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace.